All right, so we got married about a week ago, and my craft room looks like an entire explosion happened inside of it, and I'm kind of embarrassed to show you guys, but hey, this is real life. So I'm going to show you the before of what my craft room looks like, which don't judge. I have not had time to organize this, and it was organized once upon a time, but I'm telling you, every time I organize it, I keep having moments where I'm like, that doesn't flow, that isn't in the right place. So yeah, it's a mess. This is the before, don't judge. And I will show you little by little how the craft room is going to be redone and reorganized. I wish I could paint the walls. I don't think that we're ready to paint the walls right now. I'm not committed to painting the walls right now, but at least if I can have some sort of a workflow that makes sense and I don't feel like claustrophobic in this environment, then I think that will work a lot better for me in terms of ideas flowing and things like that. So here we go. This is what it looks like. I know, it's insane. I mean, I think that if you look at this, it looks more like a storage unit at this point. So right here, I have my bookcase that, well, back there I have my pins and some of my mini ears. And then here I have some of my lounge fly on display, a lot of like tchotchke things, my books, which, I mean, that doesn't really serve as a bookcase at this point because I can't actually get to the books. I mean, it's overflowing. Over here, I created this little space, which was intended for painting and things like that, but obviously not much painting has been happening here. And then we have this little area here, this little spot, my little Mickey that needs to have a place, a special place in here. This was more of my sewing area. So as you can see, that was my initial idea. Was to have like a dedicated sewing area and have all of my fabrics readily available. Ton of stuff on the floor. I mean, this is all wedding stuff, gifts and cards. Yeah, a random Christmas pillow, more wedding stuff. I mean, I can't think in here. As you can imagine, I really can't film in here like an actual video without pretending like my life isn't in shambles right now. So yeah, a major overhaul is needed at this point, and I am hoping I have another unit coming in from Target that I think will help free up some space a little bit more. I am planning to but donate to Steven's office this bookshelf because I don't really like the color black. I bought it originally as other storage for like our sports related items, but that didn't really hold for long. So I took that in as a bookshelf just so I can display my books. But again, not really, I mean, my books are there, but I'm not doing a very good job about reading them because they're not very accessible right now. So anyway, so this is the before, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the after is way better, and that this room has some sort of a flow and makes sense. Don't know if I'm going to show kind of me going back and forth between, there's just so much stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to actually film me removing items or placing them in different places. So I think I will just jump forward into the after now. So stay tuned. All right, so this is the progress so far. I moved this table that was over there that had all of my paint supplies and whatnot on it. And then I moved the cupboards, or not the cupboards, but I moved the storage units that were on this side that had my paper, my scrapbook paper, and then just a bunch of like random stuff stored. I think in this space, I'm going to move my sewing table over there. I think, I'm not quite sure. This is kind of, because all of this stuff will be moved as well. So I'm trying to figure this out. But in the meantime, this is the storage unit that I just built. It has 12 shelves. Not the best quality, as you can see right there and down there. I accidentally nicked it. I also accidentally nicked my finger, but yeah. So this unit, I'm not sure exactly where I want to place it. I think I want it vertically versus horizontally. So yeah, I'm still thinking on that. I think that unit is the perfect size to place in this area. And like I said, this bookshelf is gonna go. I think I have another place that I'm gonna store the books for the time being. I'm probably going to store away some of this Disney stuff because I feel, as much as I love to see it, I think that it's giving me a little bit of anxiety just to kind of look at it the way it is. So, yeah, this is all a work in progress. And as you can see, this is kind of like this is kind of how the artistic mind works. It tries to come up with all these different scenarios of what could be. And as you can see, it's just, oh my gosh, it can drive you crazy sometimes. There's so many options. All right, so let's go ahead and get to work. Okay, so update. I have the new edition here. And then the two pre-existing ones, I just took them off from on top of each other. And I have them all vertically, and I kind of like that stepwise look. I will say that all of these are from Target, and they are, I can't really recommend them. Other than this one was from Target, I think a couple of years ago, and you can see it's pretty thick. Versus this is super flimsy. I mean, you can see it right now. It's really, really flimsy. And it chips really easily. So one of the screws came in, I don't know if you can see that, but one of the screws came out from the other side when I was trying to attach the back. So you can see, I didn't even attach the back part to it, but it damaged it, damaged that. So those are the only two spots that got damaged. But other than that, I just can't really recommend these units. They are not cheap too. They're about $70. And I mean, you can see how flimsy they are. But like I said, this is pretty good. I mean, it's not, it's still made of the same material. But I can just tell that it's a little bit better versus today's Target storage cubby standards. The same goes for this one. This was also Target, and this one's not that bad, but still, I mean, you got the little flimsiness happening as well. And I think a couple nicks also happened on this one too. And even this one. So this one's not unaccounted for. They are all not the best quality, but I think out of the three, this one I got a couple years ago is better. And I think it was from Threshold, and those two are Room Essentials, which if you read the reviews, they're kind of mixed. So I don't know. They'll do for now anyways, but this is the configuration that I have, and I like it so far, and we'll see tomorrow if it stays this way. So check in tomorrow. All right, so it has been a full week since I started this project, and I am so incredibly happy with the turnout. There has been a lot of trash thrown out. There's been a lot of re-envisioning the original plan, changing, a lot of changes. So are you ready to see my new and improved, way improved craft room? Let's go. And here it is. Oh my gosh. I am so in love with this space now. I feel like I can think in it. It's just everything that I wanted. The plans did change a lot as I was moving furniture. I built this, and I'll go into all of that. But anyways, so this is kind of the focal point of the space. And if you've seen kitchens where they have islands, I really wanted to have kind of my own craft station island where I could cut fabric, paint, literally use this table for anything craft related. So that was the inspiration for that. So I did already have this table in my space, and it was kind of covered with a bunch of stuff. I think it was in this spot over here that initially I wanted to use this primarily like my painting station, but it had a ton of crap on it and wasn't really being fully utilized. So in this way, it's multifunctional, which I love. So, and then if you can see here, this is a project that I made inspired by the movie Up. I do have a DIY coming on that one, so stay tuned. So let's just go ahead and start here. So this is kind of where I keep, I'm not going to go through every single drawer, but this is kind of where I keep all of my craft supplies. So in here I have my Sizzix die cutting machine. I also have some die cutting tools in here as well. Not everything. I'm still kind of putting a couple things where they need to go, but essentially that's where it's going to go. And then in all of these drawers, I don't really have it organized. I try to organize it by kind of seasons and colorways and things like that, but I still have to go through all of this, and I just have all of my craft papers that I've collected literally over the years. American Crafts, I have Dear Lizzie, I have a lot of craft supplies from 2011, 2010, because I have been scrapbooking and collecting papers for that long. So any sort of paper pads, paper packs that I get from Michael's, I just have them stored in here. I do have a project with this coming, so that's why this gift bag is in here from Dollar Tree. I have some Disney papers, Christmas papers. Again, this was organized at one point, but I still have to go through and organize it kind of by season and all of that. And I know as I get further down, this is majority of my Christmas stuff with the exception of this. So I have a lot of my Christmas papers in here. And then this I love. It's not in the right place right now, but the Tear Off palette from Dollar Tree, I cannot recommend this enough. I love it. Use it all the time for painting. So yeah, just a lot of bits and pieces, and I have to organize that. But essentially that holds all of my paper pads that I have collected over the years. And then in this beautiful piece that was gifted to me by my uncle, I love him. He bought this for me from Hobby Lobby, and I absolutely fell in love with this. I just love how eclectic this looks. I love this whole piece because it's so unique. I love how none of the handles match. They're all different. None of the drawers match. They are all different colors, all different kind of finishes. It has that kind of rough, shabby chic look. Absolutely love it. I'm not going to go through every drawer, but suffice to say that there's a lot of stickers in here. Dollar Tree, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, a mixture of things. Closer to the top here, I have kind of my washi tapes and a couple stamps. I do have my stamps stored in a different location, which I'll show you, but this is kind of overflow. I do have a lot of adhesives and glues in this drawer. Most of my tools, so punches, I have my jewelry toolkit here. I have eyelets, scissors, some scissors, hole punches. In here I have all of my twines. In here I have of my spools and my tools for some of my looms that I make. In these two drawers I have, in these two drawers I have my beads. So all of my beads, my elastics, my wires are all in there. It's really hard to do this with one hand. Okay. And then, like I said, I just have stickers, rub-ons, more stickers. I mean, it's a lot. I love my paper crafts and I love my stickers. More stickers, which I don't know if you guys have checked out the Shore Living line from Dollar Tree. It is chef's kiss. It's so, so, so good. And again, some more stickers. I just have a lot of stickers in here. So as we get further down, it's mostly sticker storage. Over here, this is my sewing table. So I just have some pictures. These are so cute. This is for my wedding. We had a photo booth, and that's my mommy right there. She's so beautiful. My dad, my grandma's sister, Annie, my brother in the background, my uncle, just really special. And then these are my brothers, and I adore them so much. They're my buddies. All right, so I have a lot of scissors because you can't have enough scissors. I have some pens that are kind of like my go-to pens if I'm working. My husband, it's funny that I get to call him my husband now. He bought this for me from Hobby Lobby. Have courage and be kind, because he always reminds me to be that every single day. Here is an ottoman that I had bought. This was a recommendation from my friend Amber Crawley. She bought this for her craft room, and they come in 2 different sizes. So I got the 30-inch, and it also comes in a 45-inch. But I thought this was genius because not only is it comfortable, it's got a lot of padding here so you can actually sit on it, but it also acts as storage. So both of these sides open, as you can see, and the whole thing opens. So it's just really easy to store some more pieces that maybe you just don't want to have out, but you don't have enough storage space. So you just kind of have to get creative and get items that will help you with that storage problem. Here I have a lot of my craft books and a little bit of overflow from this that I wanted to put all the books that I really, really want to get through. So this is kind of overflow from that. I have this adorable Grogu that my brother bought for me. He surprised me with it and I was so excited. But look at how adorable he is. Hold on. Let me turn him on. I mean, watch this. So he comes with different attachments. So this one's a macaroon, but it also comes with like a bowl of soup, a spoon, and some sort of weird octopus looking thing. He eats interesting things, but you tap his head. I mean, I fell in love as soon as I saw it, because we were at downtown Disney and I was with my brothers, and I literally just almost fell on the floor with this. And he surprised me. He bought it for me and surprised me with it. And I just, he is so cute. Oh, I love him. So he kind of stays there for now because I didn't want to store him because I love him so much. And then here I have a lot of my craft books, books of inspiration, my looms, Carol Duvall. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Carol Duvall show. She was on HGTV for a long time. And then she stopped making shows, but she is the reason why I love crafting so much. I love her. So I think she's on Discovery Plus. They only have 1 season, so I'm hoping that Discovery Plus adds on more seasons, but she is the reason why I craft and love it as much as I do. And then over here, I just have kind of like a little memorial happening for my grandma. She did pass in January of this year, and I mean, she was my whole world. I love her. So I wanted to have, she's pretty much everywhere in my craft room. She's here. This is primarily going to be her spot, but she's also up there, she's there. And then I also have 2 other pictures of my grandma and my grandfather from my wedding that we had a little memorial table set up. So I'm going to have a couple more pictures of her in here with my grandfather. But as you can see, I'm a proud Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican. She was Puerto Rican 100%, and super proud, super, super proud. And my shirt says Puerto Rican proud. So very proud. So on this wall, I have some old nails in there that I need to remove. There will be some artwork going on here. I do have on the floor here a bunch of things that I had originally taken down, things that I have made. This was gifted to me by Steven for our wedding. This has where we met, where he asked me to marry him, and where we said I do. So I love it. It was so thoughtful. So that's definitely going to go on my wall. I have some pieces that I've made. I'm a huge Keeping Up Appearances fan. If you've ever watched that show, it's really funny. It's a British comedy. It's hilarious. I also have that I made as well. And I'll link all of my DIYs. I have a DIY on that as well. And then I have She Said Yes, which was made by my mother-in-law. She put this all together. And then at our engagement party, everybody signed that came. So that's very special. This was made by my friend Amber. That was from Christmas during a Christmas stocking swap, and she was my partner, and I just love it so much. I wanted it to be on display all year round because I love anything handmade, especially for my friends, and I just felt like it was just too pretty to put away. So I have that hanging in my craft room all year round. So this little area was intended to be a reading area. So I have all of my books here. I have my Kindle. I have some book covers in case I travel and I want to bring a book, but I don't want it to get ruined. These are so good. I have a lot of my friend Amber's books because she is a writer. She did a Luna series and it's so, so good. So I highly recommend you checking her out. She's on Amazon. So these are all kind of my fiction books that I want to get through. Some of my autobiographical books, Walt Disney, a lot of different things. My mom bought me this because I'm a huge I Love Lucy fan. It's a little bobblehead. But yeah, and then in here I keep all of my coasters. So if I'm in my little reading corner and I want to drink my tea, I just have a bunch of coasters here. And believe it or not, I have caught my husband sitting here playing video games. So he really enjoys my craft space now that I have some sitting areas for him. This is Sally, and she is very old. I've had her since I was a baby. And my grandma found her and cleaned her for me and gave her back. And she's in really good condition. She's by Fisher-Price. And I named her Sally. And when my little brother, my youngest brother, was born, I used to always bug him. My mom and I used to always bug him and say, Sally loves you. And he hated this doll. He hated this doll so much. But she is very special to me. I love how old she is. She has a lot of history, so she stays here in my little reading area. My Christmas pillow, which I couldn't part ways with, that was from Target Dollar Spot many years ago. And then in here is the chaos. That is all of the books that won't fit on my bookshelf currently. These are all my Disney books, children's books, things like that. This gigantic piece I made, I do have a video where I will link it below, but when I was on the frenzy to collect all of the 50 McDonald's Walt Disney World toys, yeah, I collected all of them and then some, and I wanted to be able to display them. And obviously this isn't being displayed as I really, really want it to be. I want it to be able to be displayed on the wall, but I need to put some sort of gadgets on the back to be able to do that. So maybe when we move, I will definitely hang that up because I just don't have the wall space for it right now. So it's just sitting there in that little corner for now. In here, so I have my sewing case here. That's my husband. He's so cute. So in here, I just have stored all of my mini ears that I have made, things that I've bought from friends and things like that. This is a tutorial that is coming. These are actually made out of my wedding dress. So that is coming. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, so just ears, things that I'm working on. In here, I have my headbands and bows that I use for my mini ears. I have a lot of remnants. So I got these from Dollar Tree, some from Joann's, Hobby Lobby. So that is just chock full of fabric remnants that I want to utilize. I have my electronics items here. In here, I have I think some puzzles and little kits that I've got from Target and Michael's. These are some pottery pieces that my friend Amber makes, so I just have those hanging down here. This little house is something my husband made when he was in school, and he thinks it's absolutely hideous, but I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I love anything handmade, so he wanted to get rid of that, and I was like, nope, I'm keeping that. So that is now on display in my room. In here, this is where I keep all of my pens, extra bags, things like that. All right, and then in here, I have all of my fabrics that I own. I try to organize them as best as I could, so I have kind of like characters, Disney, and here I have fancier fabrics in here, so my sequins and taffeta, silks, things like that. And then some of my cotton fabrics up here. I have my serger, and let's see, and here I have my stamps, my hot glue guns, my extension cords, my little clips that I got from Dollar Tree. This container is also from Dollar Tree. It's actually supposed to be for lunch storage, but I mean, crafters, you need storage, so you got to utilize everything that you can find. In here, it's really full, but I have my, what do you call these things? My palette for painting. I have aprons. This used to be a candle that I had melted the wax out, and I now use as my water container for when I'm painting. Love it. I've had that for years now. Yeah, I just have some of my smaller canvases in there, my watercolors. This I use for when I'm painting on this table so I don't damage the surface. So this is just a trash bag that I reuse. In here, it's kind of, I just have little knickknacks in here, toys that I've collected from McDonald's that are Disney. I have some Encanto toys in here, some items that I want to make into ears. So it's just full of different tchotchkes in here that will be used for projects in future. In here, I have more fabric that are current works in progress. So that's that. And then in here, I have some of my, now we're getting into my knitting loom territory. I have my knitting tools in here. I have my knitting needles in here, knitting bags, batting, wool, some more of this for making looms. I have stitch holders. I just have everything yarn related tool-wise in here. I do own 2 looms. So I have a small one and then a larger one. I do love to do wall hangings. And then this big unit, this is the one that I had put together and I absolutely love it. I love my yarn. So all of this with a couple mixed into different sections are from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. So those are kind of like my cheaper yarns. And then here, and a little bit into here, and then up here, these are all my hand-dyed yarns that I absolutely love, will never part ways with. I've had some of these for years. I mean, some of them are probably from 2011. They're so old, but I can't use them yet because I just haven't found the right project. So I don't know. I know crafters out there will relate that if you find something and you know you can't get it again, you just want to hold on to it for as long as you can until you find that right project for it. So, yeah, I just have some of these in here. This is a lot of Sorella yarn. I love her yarns. This is all the Downton Abbey collection. This is all of her Disneyland collection with a mix of a couple other yarn dyers in here. This is my friend Amber. This is her Maker's Haven line. Love those yarns. I've also had these for many years. So yeah. So these are my fall colorways. These are my Christmas yarns. These are kind of like my spring, don't really have a section to put them in yarn. And then these are all of like my chunkier yarns down here. And then in here, I have my, just kind of like my cheap yarns that I've gotten from like clearance sections, from Hobby Lobby, Michael's. So it's just a bunch of different smaller skein yarns. In here, I have all of my wound up yarns. So these are my good ones, as I call them, from my yarn dyer, from the yarn dyers. And whenever I like to put, because I like to remember the names of the colorways and the specific yarn dyers. Although a lot of these I know just by looking at them who the yarn dyer is and what the name of the colorway was. But I like to just put in the ball band. I like to just kind of tuck the ball band inside. So this is by Woolberry Fiber Co. And this Girl is on Fire. I love this colorway. It is so bright and beautiful. And obviously on camera, it's just not giving it justice, but it is beautiful. So I just have some of my wound up skeins already in there. In here, I have some baby little skeins as well as some other ones mixed in. So these are some mini skeins, little pom-pom for a hat I'm going to make. So yeah, I just have kind of like little little ones like that in there mixed in with my other ones. So, all right. This was the very first, I'm out of breath, sorry. So this is the very first bouquet that Steven ever gave me. Orange is my favorite color, so he gave me these beautiful orange roses, which have now since dried out, but I made this little cloche display for them because they're very, very special to me. I got this beautiful Lucille Ball doll because I am a huge I Love Lucy fan. This is a vintage Mickey that I got at a little charity shop, and he was only $7. And the tag on him, where is his tag? Let me see where his tag is. Here it is. The tag on him says Walt Disney characters, and I think it's from the 1960s or so. He's really old, but I love him so much. I was with Steven when I saw him, and I saw the $7 price tag, and I'm like, yeah, he's coming home with me. So Steven was carrying out this gigantic Mickey Mouse. And it was such a fun time. I loved it. And then I have this vintage Disney book, which is the animation art. I think that's from the 70s or 60s, late 60s. I got this at Dollar Tree because I am a huge mermaid fan. Mermaids have more fun. And this gorgeous table is also from Hobby Lobby, and it goes so well in this room. I mean, it's so artistic with all the paints, the faux paint splatters on it. This was also a gift from my uncle. He is just an amazing guy. So it's just this really cute side table. Over here, I have some of my foam that I use for my mouse ears. I have my yarn winding tool back there. I have paper cutting, all of my mats that I use for fabrics, my rulers. These are just some boards that I had put together so when I'm painting, I don't damage surfaces. So this one's pretty well loved. So I have a couple of those. I have a yardstick. This is really useful. I also got that from Dollar Tree. It's supposed to be used when you're outside gardening and your knees get really sore, but I use this when I'm either crafting on the floor, because sometimes, even though I have a table, I always end up on the floor. I don't know why. It's like the most comfortable place for me to be. In a nutshell, this is my room now, and I absolutely adore it. It is everything I wanted it to be. It inspires me. I feel like I have less brain fog when I'm in here. I have a little reading area, so if I want to sit there and knit, I can do that. I just love it so much. I love it so much. And then that rug I got from Target, and I love it. I had to put a little rug underneath just to kind of make it feel more like a reading space. But yeah, I hope you guys like this. I hope it inspires you to make your space what you want it to be. Make it flow the way you want it to be, especially when you're crafting. Every crafter works differently, so everybody has a different flow. For a small room, you just try to utilize every corner, every little inch of space, and just try to make it flow the way you want it to flow. So I love these videos because I just like to get inspired. I know that this room has changed multiple times, but this arrangement as I have it now is, I think, the best arrangement for me. In terms of how I work and what I need in order to have less brain fog and get less claustrophobic in a crafting space. So I hope you guys enjoy this and let me know your thoughts. I mean, definitely a night and day transformation, I have to say, and I'm very, very proud of it. All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications for more content to come. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.